I'm at the yard of Tara Laing, and as usual, catching up with Gavin Fenter to learn a little bit more about their runners on Friday. 2 runners will kick them off in race 2. We're going to start with Global Scene. Now, she found the placings last time out, but Gav, she will cut back to 1200 on Friday.
Yeah, we tried over 14. She is looking for 14, maybe even a mile, but you know, there's only on the poly, and we don't really want to run on the poly just yet. She's a little bit hot. So we brought her back to the 12 as a small field. She can run into the money. Would be better over a little bit further, but we'll try and find a 14 mile on the grass for her.
She'll be joined by Lady Thea, who will be having her very first start, and she is a filly by fire away.
Yeah, she's going to need this first run. She's going to need 1 or 2 runs before she shows anything, but she'll need it.
Now, Gardner's Pride will be in action in race 3. He's had the runs of experience he has needed over the sprinting trips, and I'm sure he's really going to appreciate stepping up to the mile.
Yeah, he definitely needs to go a mile even further, but we gave him his 3 runs up the straight. We gelded him. He's a lot better now. His last run in the 1200 to me, although he was well beaten, it was against winners. And if you take the filly that ran just in front of him, he won by 4 lengths, and he ran just behind that filly. So it was a much better run, being over 1200. The mile will be a lot better for him. He can run into the money.
Rainbird will run in race 4. Now, she's been showing steady improvement in her recent form, but she's going to have to translate it onto turf because all her form of recent has been on poly.
Yeah, some nice runs on the poly, but we're taking our chances. Yeah, I spoke to Donald. Do you think she'll be okay on the grass? Because her best runs have been on the poly, so we're taking a chance, yeah, because we've got to be versatile, poly grass, whatever comes up. So we'll see how she goes. She can run into the money. It's going to be hard to beat that ex-Candice Bass horse with that type of form, but she can run into the placings.
Now, in the background is Spin Doctor, and as you can see, Pardon, the head man here at Tara Laing's yard, is giving him some treatment in preparation for his race on Friday, and he's been showing some good finishes of recent.
Yeah, there's a couple of horses like him, Gunsmoke, Pedro. They get this machine, Sequoia. They get this machine before they work. They get the machine after they work for their back to loosen their back muscles up a bit. Helps a lot. But yeah, getting back to him, we put him this 1800, and he was in a 1400, but the 14 was a little bit short. We try to hope that they split the last race, the 1400, which they didn't, which was a lot weaker than this field. So we left him, yeah, they didn't split the race. Yes, it is hard to take on the likes of Grazing in the Grass and Cherry on You, but I started the race call a little bit last night, and I picked up a little bit interesting form. The last time in February, same course, same distance, 1800. Grazing in the Grass beat him by a quarter of a length, and he beat Cherry on You by half a length. So Grazing in the Grass, him and Cherry on You were within a length of each other. So he's back to the same. He can run into the money. It is a strong race, and then you still got to take on the Mr. Krabier's horse from Gavin Smith. Yeah. Very strong field, but he can run into the money. He is a runner. He only, like I said, Grazing in the Grass to me is the horse to beat, and Grazing in the Grass only beat him a quarter of a length. So if things go his way, he can be a runner.
Now, the Port Elizabeth Gold Cup is race 6, and here we'll see Juan Carlos in the listed event, and this has been his goal for quite some time now.
Yeah, we are scratching our heads. Do we take a chance? Do we take a chance? Because, you know, he's a funny horse. So, you know, I work him, he goes on the track and he just runs away with me. Like, no control. And I asked Charlie, I said, are you sure this horse doesn't pull in a race? Because on the track, he goes on the track and he's just run away, no control. And I asked Chase, he said, no, Gavin, I promise you he settles. So as long as he settles, we're taking a chance to go the distance. He's never been further than 2-4. It is a big gamble. But with Charlie, when Charlie won him, he was completely relaxed. Yeah. When Chase rode him, he was completely relaxed. So Chase must just jump him out, drop him in, sit off the pace, and just lob along. I've won this Gold Cup 4 times myself. And the most important thing is to get your horse off the bit. Doesn't matter where you're sitting, as long as you're relaxed and you see out the distance. It's going to be very, very tough to beat the Hulakas horse. I mean, with that form coming out to P, it's going to be very, very tough to beat that horse. But we can run into the money. He's got a nice weight on his back, 52.5. So I think he can run into the money.
And finally, Pedro in race 8 will close for the yard, and he ran a fair race at this level in his last start.
Yeah, he just never got a run. Jose rode him. He came back. He said, "Look, I'm sorry, I just couldn't get a run. He was badly balked, had nowhere to go." So I put a line through that run. Look at his runs before that. He was ultra consistent. He didn't like the poly, but on the grass, he's ultra consistent. From a reasonable draw, a nice weight, yes, I think he's definitely a runner.
Now, this yard has really found form of recent, so take note of Gav's comments and make sure you take note of the runners on race day.